What's up, my dudes? We got Phantom Graveyard made by the C4 Detonator. Spency Boy taking it all the way back to a 2016 track. What am I doing? So, I don't know who's been smoking, but you can see the track, you know what I'm saying, dog? So, I just had to check it out. I mean, this looked like something totally different. I don't know how I never reviewed this track back in the day, but there's a lot of gems in there. I know I've done over, I think 300 different track reviews over the years. Spency Boy been at it for a minute, you know what I'm saying? But we're just getting started, baby. So, I've done a shitload of track reviews, but there's still a bunch of those different tracks on Sim and Reflex that I just never made a video on. So I'm trying to go back in here and do some of these cool kind of videos that I used to do on my channel. This used to be a major element to my channel. I don't know what planet I've been on for the past couple years, but I'm doing everything I can to bring all that back, bro. Let's see if I can pop off. Whoa, close, Spency Boy. Whoa. So yeah, I know a lot of you guys been wanting to see more, old school MX Simulator track review videos, pro racing videos on MX Sim, guide videos. All that's coming back, big dogs. It's all coming back, bro. So that's why I thought it'd be fun to come in here and do like a review on some kind of cool biome, different vibe Reflex track from way back in the day. Okay, little inside Rutsky. Alrighty. So, obviously, any track within these games that has like a certain fog effect to it is obviously on a whole nother level. I mean, you can go back to like my Trippy SX track. You can go to my Night Trail track on MX Simulator. I've got quite a few tracks in there that have some fog on them. And it just always seems to give them like a whole different kind of feeling. Now, whoa, you can almost jump over that. We're going to go in the bushes, bro. Thank the Lord for that burning bush. Oh, Spency Boy. Okay, we got a triple right here. All right. Spency Boy riding on the Honda, bro. Just changing it up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Bro, this is just like a fun little track right here. Not real big scaling. Got more of that, more one-to-one kind of vibe to it. But there is different rhythms and stuff. It's not too crazy when it comes to that. There is an inside rut right here. You kind of got to miss the tree a little bit right there, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's got that nice little kind of like backyardy, if somebody, was on graveyard shift and they're pro racing in Supercross or something. I don't know what this is, but that's basically the vibe that it puts off here. But yeah, same kind of tree objects off to the side and bush objects, just kind of copied a bunch. There is a little fence object off to the side, but mainly just like the tombstones. That's the big thing that kind of separates this track from most tracks that you would see in the game. But jumps are not majorly big. Like I say, it's more of that almost like a backyard test tracky kind of feeling when you compare it to other tracks on Reflex. For show. Not a whole lot of roughness. There is a little bit of something there coming around the start straight. Got a little over-under type section, but yeah. As far as difficulty, this track is definitely easy, I would say. Even if you're a beginner at Reflex, it's probably a pretty decent little beginner Supercross track. I couldn't see you crashing much on this one. It does kind of have a whoop section to a dragon's back, but that ain't shit, dog. You know what I'm saying? You can't get over that, bro. You need to play the game way more. Because that is nothing. That is absolutely nothing. So, yeah, basically got like an inside line and an outside line in all the corners. Inside, outside, Ricky, Carmichael, outside, inside, outside, boys. You know what it is. Nice little triple right there. Not a whole lot of places you're going to pop off the bike for coming up short. That might be a quad right there. I'm not sure. I don't know. Let's see if the trees are collidable. Yes, sir, they are. Yes, sirree, bobtail, they are. Okie dokie. All right, don't want to run into the trees, so it does have a little bit of that element of almost enduro-y in a sense, because Like you can see right up here, there's a tree on the inside. That's basically keeping you from cutting the inside line right there. Interesting use of, you know, objects. Every track, bro, that's something so cool about custom tracks. Every one of them can have their own little special thing that, like, plays into the actual gameplay of the track. So, like, on this one, for instance, instead of just some boring tough blocks, it's got actual trees on the side. And he could have even put, like, one of the tombstones closer to the edge of the track, and it would have also given it a certain kind of vibe, just like in one spot, and made it collidable or something. You know, you can do little things like that, or little fence objects. It does kind of have, I would say, enough to the track to feel pretty good overall, especially for a 2016 track. That was definitely more so back in the Reflex custom track heyday. Boys, you got to get that track manager. I'm just telling you, it'll save your life when it comes to downloading custom tracks for this game. It's a must-have. Go look up how to download it. If you're playing Reflex at all, you need the track manager, boys. Promise you. Just trust the old Spency boy for a minute, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you need that, dog. Okay, so couple sand sections. Got a little sand section right here, but it is more of a simple track. Like if you compare it to a stock Supercross track on Reflex or something like that, definitely slower paced, easier, more simple rhythms than that would be. But that's honestly how a lot of these custom tracks from this day felt like to me on Reflex. No matter if it was like replica tracks. Okay, so you can jump that to the inside, then you can almost like quad up over that, but see how low I'm staying to the ground. I mean, Spency boy's low riding out here, dog. You can like barely even come off the ground in some of these spots. So that is something to keep in mind. We'll do a lap in first person, bro. But yeah, the fog and the different, kind of cool. Sometimes you'll turn a certain way and it, like the fog effect will almost make it brighten up a little bit in certain areas. So it's got a nice little cool, I don't know, just a cool little lighting feeling to the track in that sense. Almost like a hazy, but then like if the sun was coming out just a little bit, you can kind of see it there in front of me. That's got a cool feeling for sure. But yeah, I mean, this is just one of those cool little different biome, completely different design tracks right here that I love to see. Obviously, the C4 Detonator. I don't know if he still makes tracks. I'm not really sure. A lot of these dudes that used to do all this shit are basically done with all of it now. We've kind of hit that point where most of the, you know, big-time, like, content creators and track makers and pro racers from all those years back in the Reflex heyday and all that, you know, even when the real MX Sim heyday, I feel like the Reflex heyday was more like 2012 to, you know, obviously Reflex on console was before that, but like Reflex on YouTube heyday was probably like 2012 to I don't know, 2015 or 16 or something like that. So then the MX Sim heyday would have been like 2014 all the way up to 2017. But man, you just don't see a lot of those same guys still around from that kind of era. You know, back in those original Reflex track review days. Technically, I was kind of one of those guys, even though I got into it a little bit later than some of the first ones. But certainly for MX Sim, I was one of the old school guys on that. So, boys, I'm going to try to bring back these cool old school style videos. I miss doing them, man. You know, we're just trying to keep the channel going, bro. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that's what she comes down to, big dog. So, yeah, we'll be getting back into doing some more live streaming. Just seeing kind of how the channel progresses here, and you know, Spency boy ain't gonna quit this shit till he's in the grave, bro. You know what I'm saying? Oh, there we go. There we go. Now we're playing on the track, boys. A little deformation in the sand. That's kind of cool. Definitely seems to deform more than the rest of the track. That's for sure. But yeah, not a whole lot more to talk about on this track. This is definitely a easy beginner style Supercross track for Reflex. Some of these jumps almost feels like if you know how the scaling is on those James Stewart compound Supercross tracks on Alive, almost is like as if you had something like that, but on Reflex. Kind of similar to that kind of vibe. But obviously it's a totally different feel because it's not Alive's physics, it's Reflex's physics. And I don't think the jumps are quite as peaked as that. So it is a little bit different, but like overall scaling, it feels a little bit more simple to that. So back in the day, it seemed to me like a lot of the guys were making the scaling real small like this just for the simple fact of we had so many bigger scaling tracks on the console version of Reflex. So it just kind of seemed like they were trying to do something a little bit different and, make something more down that smaller scaling road. Definitely think these tracks do feel just a little bit more basic in that sense. Like, there's only so many places you can go on a track that's as basic as this, and you're just kind of hitting all the jumps. You don't really have to think too much when you're going around a track like this. The whoops seem pretty big, but they don't really feel that big for some reason. In the Dragon's Back, it's not that tricky coming out of that whoop section. So, and look at this right here. You can totally mess up the rhythm, and you're just going to be chilling, dog. Look at this. Spency boy got a Axel Hodges do a wheelie through the whole rhythm, bro. It'd be cool to see how this track rutted up. I can't lie about that, but couple spots you can kind of triple in like that, but you could do that shit with your eyes closed on this track, bro. So overall, I'm going to give this one, out of sheer different vibe factor, it's got to at least be like a 7 overall, 8 overall. I would say something like that. And yeah, just kind of that, more simplistic style overall, I would say. You could probably jump, you can jump into that if you go a little more outside. Not necessarily my cup of tea, if you know what I mean, bro, when it comes to Reflex tracks, but still, they're not bad. I just can't put quite as much time into these kind of tracks as I can like a stock track in the game, you know what I mean? But these are still fun, still something different, still something cool to check out, just not necessarily something you're going to sit there and spend, 420 laps on. That would kind of shock me a little bit if somebody could do that on this track, unless you're racing multiplayer with your bros, or you're rut tester in or something like that. That's the only way I could really see it, you know what I'm saying? But either way, man, that's Phantom Graveyard, I think is the name of it. This was still back in the days when this would have been considered like a really, really good track. Obviously, looking back on it nowadays, it's maybe a little bit under that, but for the time, I can promise you this would have been looked at as like a pretty legit, pretty cool style track, just because you don't see a lot of fog tracks. Even if they're a different color of fog, that's how you create all of the the alien sort of, landscapes and shit and biomes. You can play with that fog effect and change the color on it, and you can create all kinds of cool little trippy little vibes on your custom tracks. Just a lot of people don't really, try out that stuff very much, and it's unfortunate. I would love to see more track makers doing that, but yeah, this is more just your generic trying to be like realistic fog, just like a normal gray color type fog. But you can do a lot more with it, guys. I'm just telling you, just gotta open your mind up a little bit, bro. Just open your mind up a little bit, bro. I'm telling you, there's so many tracks out there that have just not even been made yet, bro. Spency boy getting that itch back, bro. Either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. I'll see you boys on that next one. Later, dudes.